our experiences in taking a study abroad to Indonesia. I began my own interest in Indonesia as an undergraduate. I was in 1982 an undergraduate at UC Santa Cruz, and I had a professor who, in a class on theater, showed us a Javanese puppet, and she just did something like this, and I was like, oh, I gotta do that. I want to learn this. I want to figure out how this works. And it changed me. From then, that day, I went to Indonesia after getting a Fulbright in 1986, and I was able to study the puppetry. And then I did my master's thesis on this kind of puppetry. Then I went back after University of Hawaii for my PhD, and again studied puppetry in Banyumas. So I've been in Kebumen, Banyumas, and Jogja most of my time, and also Surakarta, Central Java. And it's been a very, very extraordinary experience to come to do the study abroad. Was after a hiatus of 15 years. I hadn't been to Indonesia. And so it was really kind of like a strange homecoming to a place that was
This is for recording purposes.
Sure, it was very familiar to me, but also it was wonderful to see how it had changed and grown. Indonesia has really become an amazing place. It really is growing in a beautiful way, and it was very exciting to see and share with students so that them see what I saw so long ago. Not much is the same, except those, when I see them, I go, oh, wow, that's just the way it was. That hasn't changed at all. It was really a lovely thing. And it was always the best parts of Indonesia. It was still true. So I went with my colleague Ann Coddington on our trip to Indonesia.
Yeah, this was the poster we put up when we were trying to recruit people to come along with us. And what we really wanted to show them is how far away we were really truly going to the other side of the world. And Robert made this website so that it could help students find their way, about what our different program would offer. And these are the group of students that we took. We were lucky enough to just take 6 young ladies with us, and we stayed for a month. And we had a super full-packed program pretty much every day for almost the entire month with different activities. The course I taught was called Multicultural Aesthetics, and so I'm a studio art professor, and so the aspects of the course that were under my purview were, we did Balinese basketry, we did a drawing class, we did 2 different batik workshops. One was contemporary batik and one was traditional batik, and we did
Basket weaving?
Yeah, the
basket weaving and
puppetry. We
puppetry.
worked with Paper Moon. In Yogyakarta, there's a contemporary puppet making group called Paper Moon, who is just fabulous. While you're in Jogja, if you can go see them, it'd be really wonderful. This is our first event that we went to, which was a water blessing at Tirta Impul in Bali.
So the students had just gotten off the plane the day before, and now they are literally immersed in Bali. And to say this was the most remarkable thing that happened the whole trip, it would be an understatement. At the same time, we had so many really incredible experiences as we went to visit temple ceremonies, performances. Mask maker, really wonderful man and dancer in Bali.
And this is one of his masks.
This is not one of, this is a Java. No, I brought the Javanese mask, not the white one, which I bought from him. I bought that mask.
Right. I bought the one I'm wearing.
Yes. But it was incredible craftsmen in Bali who were very accessible, and they taught us how to they're makers. They're making all the time, and they're really open and excited that you're there to learn. And that's one of the things that you can really connect with people in Indonesia is through making. And so as an art program, it was a very exciting place with a lot of hands-on opportunities working from master artists in their techniques.
This is Ketut Lisbeth.
Yes.
Who taught us our Balinese drawing workshop, which was really a wonderful experience. And then his sister taught us the basketry, workshop that we had. And it was just every single person we met was in some way involved in the arts. Like our taxi driver had to hurry and get us to this performance because then he had to jump off and he was the back end of the barong in the performance. So
He was the front end.
Oh, it was the front end?
He was the front.
This is our trip up to Lake Batur, and there was a temple there. This first part is all in Bali. This is Tenganan. We went there. They do a specific type of weaving called geringsing, which is a double ikat weaving. If you want to know more about it, I can talk about it later. But we happened to go there a day they were having a ceremony for the young men.
And women, but yeah, it was initiation, coming of age ceremony. Tenganan is what you call Bali Aga, ancient Bali, and it's a very different kind of traditions you can see. And then we learned Kecak, the dance theater that is a popular theater event in Bali, and we learned how to do the chanting and the dancing all in an afternoon. A lot of fun. Just get up and start going cha, 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 cha. It's a lot of fun.
This is just something you might see in the streets of Ubud.
This is during...
oh, we don't have sound.
Oh, it's okay, but this is...
man, this sounds so great. This is so
it's a little
exciting.
barong, and these kids are playing. It's like the kids do this kind of event on the streets. We just happen across art. You're walking down the street, and a parade of gamelan comes down. Or I mean, it seems almost like you can't go anywhere without experiencing ceremonies and festivals and offerings. It's thick. And in Java, Jogja is a modern city full of contemporary art and lots of events and happenings. And again, we were there to meet art galleries and contemporary artists there as well. Here's the flight over the many volcanoes along the island of Java. And then you're in the crush of Java, which is incredibly, it's chaotic. It's really kind of scary if you're not used to like traffic weaving in and out all over the place.
This is a little becak, which is a bicycle-driven cart that you can ride around in right through the middle of the city, and it's just wonderful. And one of the other projects I also had my students work on was a photography portfolio where they tried, and I thought this was going to be hard for them, but they were trying to find traditional and contemporary at the same time, but then we realized it's everywhere you look. So you see things that are ancient superimposed over a completely contemporary culture, and it was very exciting. So this is one of the photographs one of our students took. And then this was in Jogja, they have
on Malam Minggu, they sort of go out and have a big party. The Central Alun, you can rent these little pedicabs that are all lit up, and you ride around.
Super loud music.
Yeah, and you're sort of immersed in this sort of endless traffic jam around, and it's a hoot.
200 cars, or 100 cars, one right after another. So these are our students riding around.
Oh, they were playing all kinds of electronica, hip hop, you name it. It was so loud I didn't recognize anything.
Yeah, it was really funny and really loud. And you probably can, some of you can recognize where we are here in Prambanan. And we had a wonderful guide in Java and in Bali. This Tislinga was our guide, and she just
did a very good job of staying out of every photograph anybody took.
Speaking of photographs, we were very much the center of attention many places we went, and everybody wanted to take our picture. So this is me taking a picture of people taking a picture of my students. And it got to the point we just have to say, I'm sorry, no, we can't. Otherwise, we would have spent all day at certain sites just having our picture taken. But I have lots of pictures of myself with other people, because finally I started saying, well, wait, I want a picture of us too. And so now I have a bunch of pictures. This is the traditional batik workshop. We went to this Batik Winoda Sastro in Jogja, and they kind of, in one afternoon, we were able to do a sample of the two different main techniques used which is, one is kind of hand drawing and one is using a stamping tool, and I can talk more about that later if we have time. And then this is the contemporary batik, taught by Nia Ismoyo. Mia Liam and Agusis Moyo. There's a lot of palaces, and this is at Mangkunegaran
Surakarta,
in Solo, yeah.
Solo, yeah.
And this is after we went on a really lovely tour there.
And this is up in the mountains of Java. There's some ancient temples, Setu and Suko. And as I was talking about the things that haven't changed since the time I was first there, this is one of those few places that really have that wonderful sense of stepping back in time to a really beautiful place. These are these ancient temples, the last Hindu temples built in Java.
And since it's so close to the equator, it's so hot. Our whole trip, we're all like really warm, and then you drive up into the mountains and higher, and the air is thin and light and cool, and there's dragonflies flying all over, and it's so beautiful.
And it's tea plantations
Yes,
way up here,
it's
and is
as
it
much
cloves, I think is also you find out here.
And as much as it hasn't changed, then you see people like this with their selfie stick taking their picture at the top. And everybody's on their cell phone, and it's very much contemporary overlay. This is another one of those pictures from my students. This is Cafe Kodok with up in the top of the mountains on a tea plantation where we sat in a little cabana and had our meal.
This is our contemporary puppet workshop with Paper Moon. They were showing us a very quick puppet building technique using newspaper and things, a great learning opportunity. A number of our students were also art education students, so it was about learning ways you could quickly incorporate puppet ideas into a classroom.
And that's us with our finished puppets. And then Borobudur.
Borobudur is really amazing place. They've done a beautiful job restoring this ancient temple, and you can really spend the whole day there wandering around almost 2 miles worth of relief carvings telling the many lives of Buddha. It's a really a wonder to experience.
And then when we got back to Eastern Illinois University, we organized an exhibition where we had our travel journals that we made along with the other arts that we made while we were there. And that kind of culminated our experience there.
Yeah. So do you have any questions? So we can...
First, let us thank you